Hey everybody, you ready to talk fraud prevention and what you can do to be safer online, especially in the era of COVID-19? Well, how about we look specifically at what you can do to be safer in online meetings and online events by discussing ways to prevent Zoom bombing. Sounds like there might be a top 10 list on preventing Zoom bombing on the way. Well, stay tuned. I just like saying Zoom bombing, right? Well, it's Cybersecurity Month, and cybersecurity and cyber awareness have always been an important issue. But COVID has made it to where we need to be even more vigilant. We've all had to suddenly do much more online than ever before. So one of the first things we're having to do is to have increased security for our online meetings. You know, before 2020, was Zoom bombing even a thing? Is that going to be maybe the top word of the year? Have you even experienced this? You know, you're in a meeting, maybe just talking with family and friends, and then the unwelcome guest pops in.
You have been bombed. If you want to be able to prevent Zoom bombing, then listen to everything the payments professor has to say.
And usually does so in a manner that is, well, let's just say, less than acceptable behavior. We can't have that. It's happening in business meetings. It's happening in online social gatherings. It's even happening in school classrooms and at schools, grades of all levels. It happens on platforms other than Zoom. So let's be very clear. Even though the term Zoom bombing has caught on as the term we use to identify when someone unwanted and unexpected invades your online meeting or event, all online platforms are susceptible to these attacks and intrusions. Just be aware of that. I don't want Zoom to get a bad name just because they are the ones that are getting associated with Zoom bombing. I gotta quit saying that. Well, to combat this, these platforms have implemented measures such as things like, well, requiring passwords upon joining the meeting, or having it to where you have to allow access at the time that someone is entering the online room. It's kind of like a waiting room. And to help, you can have additional, say, co-hosts or moderators who will be there to monitor who gets in a room and to be able to kick people out that aren't supposed to be there. Isn't that more like an online bouncer? Oh, let's keep going though. I know for the larger events that I have been attending, have online waiting rooms like I was just talking about to help ensure who does and who doesn't get in. Some also make it to where attendees are muted. Oh, sorry, their video isn't live and their chatting capabilities are limited to just communicating with the host. Are there other things you can do to prevent Zoom bombing of your online meetings, regardless of the platform again? Well, it is to make sure you have your software that you are using up to date, that you have all the new features and functionality available to be able to combat this, and that your software is being updated regularly to make sure that you have the latest edition so that you're using all the new settings, or maybe even the existing settings appropriately, to give your online meetings and events a higher level of security. You know what? I mentioned that top 10 list. How about let's go over the famous professor's top 10 ways to combat Zoom bombing. Did it again. Quit that. Number 1. Update your online meeting apps. Hey, that's what you were just saying. That's right. As I was just saying, there are updates and there are new features that are being added all the time. So make sure you are on the latest version and you are aware of the new features and you are taking advantage and using them. And then that takes us to number 2. Use a unique ID and password for all meetings and events. That means having a separate, unique URL, web address, and password, a different password for each meeting. This helps tremendously. And make sure you change the password. I have to tell you, I know that the online platform that I use, it will reuse, or at least it used to reuse the same link and password for my private room. And that's my fault. I have to say, I once thought that, hey, this was convenient because I knew the link and I knew the password. I memorized it, so it was easier for me to be able to share on the fly with others. But now, no. Now I'm a fan of generating a unique ID and password for each and every meeting. Sometimes even a unique password for each user when possible. Because, well, we don't want them to be sharing IDs or passwords to where if it was leaked or compromised, anyone could get in and use them. Now, unique IDs and passwords, they're very helpful in meetings that are somewhat open to the public. But when you go with number 3, create an invite-only meeting. Then only those with the link can get in. It doesn't mean the link won't get found or shared when it's not supposed to be, but it helps limit the potential of Zoom bombers to those that have the link. Now, I know that this is not possible for all the calls and events that we have going on today. So if you have an event that is more open to the public, then I would recommend number 4 on our list. Create a waiting room. Yeah, create a waiting room. This is the room where before the room, you actually go to wait before you get on stage. It's kind of like a green room if you think about it. This is where you can have a validation process before allowing everyone into the event or meeting. Well, it's actually like having TSA at the airport and checking IDs as people enter and making sure they take their shoes off during the screening process. Well, wait, Professor. These people are online and we don't know if they are wearing shoes or even pants. Let's keep going. Creating a waiting room is very helpful as a control, but sometimes people are going to get in, and that is why we have number 5. Make sure only the host can share their screen. If yours is the only screen that can be seen, then it helps lessen the possibility that the Zoom bomber is going to be able to display their offensive images and messages. And what else can you do? Well, you can check in next week for part 2 of our top 10 list on ways to prevent Zoom bombing. Part 2 of a top 10? Oh, did he just do that to us? Yes, that's sneaky, but well played, Professor. Why does he keep talking to himself? I don't know. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun. So join us next week as we finish off the list. And until then, if you're looking for more on cybersecurity, tips to be more effective in online meetings and events, or our specialty, electronic payments, then check out our YouTube page. And while you're there, please subscribe. You can also go to the Payments Professor website, where we have full courses in this quirky method and way of delivery that make electronic payments fun. There's a topic you're looking for, something you'd like to see created, you can email me, kevin@paymentsprofessor.com, or you can leave a comment, or you can send me a message. What do we do at the Payments Professor? We provide training that doesn't suck and isn't boring. Class dismissed.